2023. The worst is coming? The current state of the world economy can seem bleak and chaotic, with economic recession looming on the horizon and Bitcoin and the dollar eagerly waiting to swoop in as replacements. Though it might seem like a better idea to just let it all fall apart and get the world back on track, this article will break down what we know so far. What happened in 2008 and what could happen in 2023. The U.S. is currently in the longest period of economic expansion in its history. But many economists believe a recession will happen within the next 2 years. Some even believe that the worst is yet to come. They point to several factors, including the rise in interest rates, increasing trade tensions and slowing global growth. While it's impossible to predict the future, some believe that the next recession could be even worse than the last one. In 2008, the global economy was hit hard by a financial crisis. Many people lost their jobs and homes. The stock market crashed and Lehman Brothers filed for bankruptcy. The US dollar also lost a lot of value against other currencies. If a recession does happen, it's likely that the US dollar will lose value again. This could be good news for Bitcoin, which is often seen as a safe haven asset during economic downturns. Why is the US economy so fragile? The US economy is very fragile for several reasons. One reason is the high level of debt that the government and many individuals have. This debt makes it difficult for the economy to grow, because it means that there is less money available to be invested in new businesses and projects. Another reason why the U.S. economy is so fragile is because of the high levels of inequality. There is a large gap between the rich and the poor, and this can lead to economic instability. When the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, it can lead to social unrest and even revolutions. Finally, the U.S. economy is also very reliant on other economies around the world. If there is a recession in Europe or Asia, for example, this can have a big impact on the U.S. economy. This is because trade between countries slows down when there are economic problems in other parts of the world. Overall, there are many reasons why the U.S. economy is very fragile. This fragility makes it more likely that an economic recession will occur at some point in the future. Could Bitcoin replace the dollar? 1. While it's unlikely that Bitcoin will replace the dollar anytime soon, it is possible that it could become a more widely used currency. Currently, there are a limited number of businesses that accept Bitcoin as payment, but this number is growing. As more people start using Bitcoin, it could become more popular and begin to replace the dollar as a currency. 2. Another possibility is that Bitcoin could become a supplemental currency to the dollar. In this scenario, people would still use dollars for most purchases, but would also use Bitcoin for some transactions. This could happen if people started using Bitcoin because it was more convenient or secure than using dollars. 3. It's also possible that Bitcoin could fail completely and be replaced by another cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrencies are still a relatively new technology, and they are constantly evolving. It's possible that a newer, better cryptocurrency could come along and replace Bitcoin. 4. Lastly, it's possible that nothing will change and the dollar will remain the primary currency used around the world. Cryptocurrencies could become more popular and begin to be used for some transactions, but the dollar would still be the dominant currency. How Bitcoin impacts the dollar. Bitcoin is a decentralized digital currency, without a central bank or single administrator, that can be sent from user to user on the peer-to-peer Bitcoin network without the need for intermediaries. Transactions are verified by network nodes through cryptography and recorded in a public distributed ledger called a blockchain. Bitcoin is unique in that there are a finite number of them, 21 million. Bitcoins are created as a reward for a process known as mining. They can be exchanged for other currencies, products, and services. As of February 2015, over 100,000 merchants and vendors accepted Bitcoin as payment. Salaries in 2023? There is a lot of speculation about what will happen to salaries in the next few years. Some experts believe that we are headed for an economic recession, while others believe that salaries will continue to rise. Bitcoin is another factor that could affect salaries in the future. If the value of Bitcoin increases, it could lead to inflation and higher prices for goods and services. This could erode away at salaries, especially if wages don't keep pace with inflation. The dollar is also likely to play a role in salary growth in the coming years. A stronger dollar means that American workers will be able to purchase more goods and services with their paycheck. However, a weaker dollar could lead to lower salaries as employers look to cut costs. No one knows for sure what will happen with salaries in the next few years. However, it's important to be prepared for any eventuality. Make sure you are saving money so that you can weather any economic storms that might come your way. Conclusion. The worst is certainly coming, but don't despair just yet. While an economic recession may be on the horizon, there are still ways to protect yourself and your finances. Bitcoin is one way to do this, as it is a decentralized currency that isn't subject to the same fluctuations as the dollar. By investing in Bitcoin now, you can insulate yourself from the worst of the impending economic storm. Expected inflation in 2023? In 2023, the United States is expected to experience inflation of about 2.4%. This is based on the assumption that the economy will continue to grow at a moderate pace and that there will be no major disruptions. Inflation is often thought of as a bad thing, but it's actually a natural part of an economy. It happens when the prices of goods and services rise over time. While inflation can be annoying, it's not always a bad thing. In fact, it can actually be helpful for the economy. For example, when inflation is low, it can help to encourage spending and investment. This can lead to economic growth. However, when inflation is too high, it can be harmful to the economy. It can lead to higher interest rates, which can make it difficult for people to borrow money. This can slow down economic growth. The Federal Reserve tries to keep inflation in check by raising or lowering interest rates. They will likely raise rates if inflation gets too high. So, if you're planning on borrowing money in 2023, you may want to do it sooner rather than later. But if it's expected that an economic crash could happen in 2023, then you would rather wait until 2024. Thanks for watching. See you on the next episode.